Hello and welcome to the Landis Look, where we take an inside look in the world of real estate. Today we're taking an inside look into a flipped house with Jonathan and Ben, who just finished the renovation. Hey guys.
Hey.
How's it going, Justin?
Thanks for being here today. So when we say flipped house, we mean a house that was purchased, needed fixed up, was renovated, and now has been flipped and is back on the market. So guys, tell us a little bit about the story of even how you guys have started to think, let's work together and do this. Where'd that idea start?
Well, I guess I'll start. I had been on the team for less than a year, and I'd seen that Jonathan had done some light flips, and I had been exploring the possibility with another business partner for a while, but we couldn't get anything off the ground, mostly due to lack of experience and lack of connections. So once I met Jonathan, I saw it as a great opportunity to learn from him, learn from his connections and experience, and take the plunge. So this is my very first flip, and my goal for it was, let's be honest, we all want to make money doing a flip, but I also wanted to just see the whole process from start to finish so I could better advise my clients.
Yeah, sometimes knowledge is more valuable than the actual income because it turns into a lot of income down the line. And so, Jonathan, you have done this before. You've been on here with us before talking about it. Tell us about the decision to bring a partner on and do this with somebody versus doing one by yourself.
That's a great question. So I think it can be potentially way better and way more beneficial to have a partner. It could go the opposite way. So I think really it depends on who you choose to be a partner. It really depends, really can steer which way your project goes. So, Ben been on the team for a couple months. And I saw, he was a hard worker. He was dedicated. He was super open to learning and had an open mind. And I think we had a good conversation before we even did this. I was like, before we make any money, you're going to learn a lot. And he was really just had an open mind to learning. And I think we'll probably get into that, but we certainly learned a lot. And partner selection is definitely the most important.
So has the partnership been good? Are you guys going to give us the honest breakdown? Was it a good partnership in this experience?
Yeah, I think we play off of each other really well. I'm closer to the house than Jonathan is, so I was able to go over and do some little touch-up things and check on the house a lot. Jonathan had a bit of a better relationship with our contractor than I did, so he was able to smooth some things over when we got to some rough patches. And he's a very forgiving person, and I don't. And so I would get to the point where I was like ready to fire our contractor when it wasn't the right time, and he'd be like, "Hey, let's give a little bit of time." And so he would kind of bring me down, but I would also pull him to upping up our expectations of the contractor. So I think we played off each other well, and we're ready to do another one. So I think overall it was a great partnership.
Awesome. Well, let's get into this project. So first of all, tell us, how did you find the house?
I think, Justin, you had said you were kind of searching on Zillow or
I found the house. Wow. I didn't even realize that. Man, this is great.
So it goes back to having really good realtor connections of people that are in the neighborhood, kind of searching, browsing, and you knew that area was really going to increase. You sent it to us, and we really trust you. So
I honestly, for those of you watching, I honestly didn't realize that when I asked that question. That is funny. All right. So y'all found the house. Tell us, what was the house like? What'd you buy it for? What'd you think you were going to have to do? Give us like the pre-version of what you thought was going to happen.
It was an ugly one,
Yeah.
And you were just hit with a smell. Turns out the sink was blocked up and had some standing water for who knows how long. And there were just bugs and cockroaches everywhere. The drywall was in really poor shape. The layout was really bad. There was an addition that was covered in wood paneling in the back, and it was just nasty old carpet. There were leaks. It was your typical nasty.
It sounds like a major project. It needed a lot.
Yeah.
It was definitely ugly. It used to be a rental property that was neglected. They had a water bill that was sky high on it, and things were definitely, there was definitely falling down. It was something bigger that I've never done before. And that's why I'm glad, we partnered up to kind of take a little bit of that stress off. And it was definitely a heavy load for sure.
What were the numbers for this start? What did you buy it for, and how much did you originally think the renovation was going to cost?
Yeah, our purchase price was $126,500, mm-hmm. and we had a rehab budget of about $85,000. And at the time, our projected ARV, that's after repair value, was somewhere in the mid twos, maybe 260, 265 best case. Yep.
And then what did it actually cost, and what is it listed for today?
Well, that is lesson number one in renovating real estate. Always be conservative, which we talked about in our prior video. But we're right around 100, I think, Ben. And so we're in it, and right now we're listed at 289.9. So luckily we got a really good some market increase, I think, due to the lack of inventory right now. And the product, I mean, we went above and beyond, and I think our rehab numbers, every extra dollar we spent went to something that really helped. We replaced the roof, replaced the HVAC, and replaced the whole siding, which changed the whole facade of the house. So every extra dollar we spent, I think, definitely made a difference.
Yeah, and I mean, on any renovation, the bigger the renovation, the bigger the contingency you have to have, unless you're doing the whole thing, right? And then you've already budgeted, hey, we're building this entire house again. But yeah, I mean, you got to have contingency in a house like that. And so, to be over budget, that's what, roughly 20%. I mean, obviously it's great to come in on budget, but that's not, that's not the end of the world by any stretch. So, well, let's talk about the actual house. So, I mean, everybody can see here, we're going to show what the house, finished product looks like. Tell us some of your favorite things about what you did to the house and how you decided to do some of those things.
Yeah, the biggest selling point for us when we initially bought the home was that the overall floor plan was pretty good. So on the left side of the home, you have 2 bedrooms that are their guest bedrooms, and they're fantastic. I've seen so many flips, and this is the benefit of Jonathan and I being in real estate full time, is we see a ton of flips and we know what buyers want, we know what they like. And so both of these guest rooms were really large, had a full bath right there. We didn't have to add any bathrooms. We didn't have to add any rooms. The overall footprint of the home was able to stay the same. So the biggest thing that we did was we took this master bedroom, the wood panel room, and it had a hallway to the back door that was separate from the master bedroom with a washer dryer. And we just busted that whole wall out and turned the space into a master suite. So it's a very large master suite now with an ensuite bathroom now. That second bathroom was originally separate. So now we just have a huge master suite with a big closet and a big ensuite bathroom now. And
that's on basically everybody's list. I mean, almost every buyer wants an actual master suite.
Yeah. We were not willing to sacrifice on the must-haves that most of our buyers have, which is an ensuite bathroom, a large master bedroom, and a nice kitchen. So
tell us about the kitchen. Kitchen's kind of bold. I like it.
We definitely, back to Ben's point, showing so many buyers, we saw, working with buyers, what buyers wanted, and we created that. And most buyers want a really killer kitchen, kind of a statement piece. This is going to be a lot of buyers' first home. So we want something that they felt would pop for them. So we went with a navy blue cabinets, which, so we worked with a designer that picked all of our things for us. And we're not designers by any means. So lesson, trust the professionals. And as soon as we posted that, I mean, I think we got so many compliments on the blue kitchen. We ended up getting marble countertops by mistake. But turned out really nice.
Hey, if you're going to have a mistake, it might as well be marble countertops, right?
Exactly. And the biggest thing that I think I kind of, me and Ben learned, and I think is we provided a refrigerator. A lot of flippers don't give a fridge because it's an extra step. But first-time home buyers are normally trying to save as much money as possible. And I think giving them a fridge, something like that, is a little extra and kind of helps your house stand out.
It also just looks way better, both in the pictures and in person. The empty fridge hole just doesn't look good. And
exactly.
That does matter to people. Mm-hmm. Tell us about the exterior. So you had to do a good amount of work on the exterior of the house as well. Give us the summary of that.
Yeah, and this is why it's so important to be conservative with your budget and have a contingency plan, because we ended up having to do some things to the exterior that were not planned. So as work was being done to the windows and to the facade of the home, the vinyl siding that was on there that we thought we could preserve just slowly started to get busted up by the workers, and they couldn't source replacement vinyl siding that could match. So it became evident towards the end of the exterior work that we just had to redo the siding, and that ain't cheap. I mean, it costs nearly $10,000 to do that.
Yeah.
And we also had to replace the roof. We thought the roof was fine. There was a leak. We thought we could patch it. And then suddenly the whole thing had to go. So there's another, almost $6,000 right there. So if we hadn't have been conservative in our budget, we would be singing a different song right now. But fortunately, our numbers are still working out in our favor. But
yeah, and the new owner is going to have a house with new siding and a new roof, which is a definite plus. And definitely. So the house looks great. I mean, I love what y'all did with it. You've mentioned a couple lessons. Any other final lessons for someone as they look at this and think, hey, could I do this myself, or could I partner with someone to do it? What would be like your last word on it?
I would say, and I really applaud Ben, towards the end of the project, the Atlanta market was so busy, it was tough for us to get any kind of vendors out there. So, I chipped in a little bit, but Ben really went to bat and did a lot. He painted that entire foundation. If you'll see in the picture, he, cleaned up a lot of the house. So I would say that kind of a lesson for me, and a lot of these things we kind of taught ourselves, like we installed our own security cameras. So big thing that I learned is, don't be afraid to go out there and get your hands dirty if it saves time. And, there's so many resources online. You can learn to do anything and, trust your experts. That's kind of my advice, Ben.
Yeah. I think for me, if you're going to engage a contractor, you need to be extremely thorough in not only your vetting process of them. By that, I mean, get references, see some before and after photos, visit some properties that they've done, make sure they know how to do permits, make sure they're familiar with historic districts if you're in one. Be very thorough with that. And you also really need to be very thorough with your budget. We were kind of generalists with our budget. And I think moving forward, I'm going to write down every nail we buy and make sure that we are as close as possible to coming under or at budget as possible. And the best way to do that is to take a huge spreadsheet with probably 200 lines on it and sort it out and price it out. I mean, any book you read about flipping, they're like, you need to be thorough. And so next time we're going to do that and come out even better than this time.
I love it, guys. Thanks for sharing your experience and your expertise. The house looks great. I hope you guys get multiple offers this weekend, sell it at a great price, and can move on to the next. And everybody, thanks for watching. If you have any specific questions about this house, about their experience, or about doing this yourself, do what so many of you do. Send us a private message. We're happy to engage in a conversation with you on it. And we will see you next week. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Justin.